Here's a quick demo showing the lane departure system and the cruise control. So you navigate everything through the steering wheel, these buttons right here. And if you try to veer off a little bit, like that, and it'll actually put you back in the lane without you even touching the steering wheel. So in that aspect, it's kind of cool, but it doesn't do like the self-driving that Volvo has, unfortunately. So it's cool if you're like sleepy and you're veering off a little bit like this, and but see, like right now it didn't do anything. Like we're still veering over, so it's like an epic fail. Like there's a car coming. It's very like, I don't know, it's not as intuitive as like BMW's system or Volvo, but it has that. It has the cruise control with the 3 lines, so you can decide how far you want to keep the distance in front of the car in front of you. It has this right here. That's going to be your like lane departure assist and all those aids, which I mean, they're handy when they work, but like right now, like, see, there you go, it works now. But yeah, that's that. What else we got here? Cheap plastic, cheap headliner, very cheap headliner. No Alcantara, a lot of plastic there, yeah. Oh, also, when you, like, this is weird. So when you press your head into the headrest, your back has it like pushes out your back. It's like the weirdest thing. I think it's because they have those like metal supports in there, and when you press your head on it, your back like comes out a little bit, so it's like very uncomfortable. The seats are actually not good at all, because when you corner, like if you corner pretty hard, it like you slide out of the seat completely. It's made for like very large people. Like it's made for somebody who probably is like 300 pounds, because I slide in this thing. I mean, it's comfortable. It's like sitting in like a couch, like a living room couch, but it has no support like when you're turning, when you're doing sharp turns left or right. But yeah, so far that's all I got for you. Okay, so here's a quick 0 to 60 on this QX80. The delay is like huge. Like I'll hit the gas now and it doesn't pick up until later. Okay, so just a quick acceleration test here. We're at 0, going uphill at a 15-degree grade here. Alright guys, so quick overview here of this QX80. Have had this car for a while now. Drove all the way through Washington, through Idaho, and now through Montana in Glacier National Park. And the car is absolutely phenomenal. Nothing bad I can say about the vehicle, really. Just a few minor key points here and there. The first is the brakes are a little bit, they're not sufficient for the weight of the vehicle, I don't think, especially when going downhill in parts of Glacier. We were really, I mean, as soon as we were done with these brakes, you could smell how they were just, you know, they were burning up a little bit. Not actually a little bit, quite a lot in fact. What is nice is just the amount of storage in this car and the amount of space. It's just absolutely huge inside. Plenty of V8 power. 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds, which I'll show you in a little bit once we get on the highway. It is huge, especially for some of the roads in Glacier National Park. They were definitely, it was very tight, especially on the smaller roads there with oncoming traffic. But overall, great. It's got rear climate controls in the front there, Apple CarPlay, navigation, Bluetooth, USB-C, regular USB charging ports as well. Off-road, it's pretty good as well. Tested that out a little bit. Did a little bit of off-roading in 4 low, and it was just phenomenal. I mean, it held the road very well. No issues with the 4-wheel drive system. You put it into neutral, and then from neutral you just select either 4 low or 4 high, for depending on what kind of off-roading you're doing. Great design too, I gotta say. Wheels are beautiful on this vehicle. Just overall a great family sedan. Unfortunately, family SUV rather. Sorry. Unfortunately, you know, even with the 5.6 liter motor, it's a huge engine, plenty of power. It wasn't quite enough for the vehicle of this weight. I mean, it definitely needs another like 40-50 horsepower, I would say, at least. It's lacking in the brakes quite substantially. The vehicle also was very hard, very stiff to drive, and what they did was they compensated with the suspension. So what they did was they gave you very stiff setup so that there wouldn't be a lot of body roll and lean, but unfortunately there still is a lot of roll and body lean in this car. I understand it's an SUV, but I'm just trying to tell you, you know, the pros and the cons to this vehicle. There's a lot of lean, brakes are lacking, not enough power even with the 5.6. For every day around town, it'll do just fine. Great parking sensors as well. You get the 360 view from the top, which I'll show you in a little bit as well. What else I was going to say? As far as the competitor, from what I understand, this is a competitor to the LX570 from Lexus, which is, I believe it's going to be the Land Cruiser. LX570 is the Land Cruiser, and the Nissan Armada is the lower version of this Infiniti. It's clearly not going to be on the same, you know, it's not even in the same book as far as, you know, just overall handling and capability. I mean, the Land Cruiser and the LX570 will just blow this thing out of the water. The design, I do like the front end a little bit more on this vehicle, but in terms of just off-road capability and build quality, I still believe that the Lexus LX570 and the Land Cruiser, the new one from Toyota, will just absolutely just destroy this thing off roads and the trails. This is basically like your stalker mom hauler. Pick up your kids from school, go grab your Starbucks, and just kind of cruise around town in a fancy vehicle. This is what this is. This isn't one of those great off-roaders that's just gonna pretty much plow through anything like a Land Cruiser would, but plenty of room for your kids in the back. Definitely no, I don't know, 100 square feet, 150 square feet, something like that. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats. It's got 2 seats, 2 passenger seats, and then 2 driver seats no concerns there. Rear climate control vents there you see. Here's the actual four-wheel drive system. So you got 4 high, 4 low, push that down. Traction control off here. You got tow mode if you want. Snow increases the traction control. Camera for where if you can't park. So here's the USB-C I was talking to you about, the regular USB, heated seats, Apple CarPlay. Navigation is lacking. I mean, this is like super old software. I mean, some of the newer BMWs and Mercedes just completely, it's almost laughable at how bad the graphics display here is. I mean, this navigation, BMW's had this in like 2003, 2004. The other thing is the Bose sound system is horrible in this vehicle. I mean, it sounds good to somebody who's never heard a good sound system before, but like if you ever heard like Bowers & Wilkins or Bang & Olufsen or any of those high-end systems, this Bose sounds absolutely horrendous. It just has bass that blows everything out. There's treble and then there's bass, but you're missing all the lows completely. There's no lows, and it's just there's no clarity. I mean, it'll sound good to somebody who's just like blasting some music just to kind of, you know, make it loud. But for me personally, it just sounds horrible, especially after you've heard some decent audio systems in some other cars. But again, I mean, this car isn't cheap either, guys. You know, so I'm not being negative here, but you got to understand this thing's like what, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 depending on how equipped you get it. I mean, come on. I mean, for that kind of money, you know, that's, you know, for 80 grand you can get a pretty nice AMG Mercedes. You know, it'll be a little bit smaller, but it's just it's premium money for a premium car, and it's what they've tried to do is just kind of make it look as fancy as possible. Unfortunately, they've cut a lot of corners in sound system and the navigation and off-road capability. It's great. I mean, overall, no concerns whatsoever, but just like, I don't know, just like the cheap plastic. Like, why is this like cheap plastic? Why couldn't this be the same wood trim that's on the steering wheel here? You know, we're not talking about a Nissan. This is supposed to be their premium line from Infiniti. Like, see how this is like the fake wood grain here? Why couldn't they just continue it here and also continue it here? Why is this just like cheap plastic? You know, it's on there. That looks great. Even though it's fake, it looks great, right? But this, it's just little things like that. I mean, this is nice. At least they put a little like leather automatic shifter, even though this is fake as well. It isn't real leather. In fact, I'm not even sure this is real leather here. You can tell by the way it stretches like that. This is not. I don't believe this is right here. And if it is, it's like super low quality leather. Like, I mean, you can even see here, this car has 6,000 miles. And already the carpets have started to like come apart from the foot there. I mean, overall, great car. I'm just not sure if it's worth $70,000 to $80,000. If it was 45 to 50, I'd understand the cutting your corners here and there. But yeah, just a quick overview, and I'll give you guys some more info in a minute.